saw Gabriel, he tried the thing. Saka, come on, try the thing. Nelson, try the thing. You know, can't ask Leno for nothing. Everyone that Holding, I can't even lie, bro. Some people can say Holding this and that. I don't think Holding did that bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna cap. I don't think Holding was that bad, people. I don't think I'm gonna do my player ratings today. I think I'm gonna do it tomorrow, you know, because purely of the fact I think it's one of those games I've got to pre it again, you know, people. I've got to pre it again, you know. Where do I start in terms? Let me make my notes so I know where to cut this video. You know, we're gonna start from 240. Where do I start, people? You know, I don't know where I start. I just want to watch Liverpool versus Leicester because I have more fun just enjoying it. Funny enough, Arsenal have moved up the table though. We're still we're 13 points. We're 11th. Leeds have moved up to 14th with 11 points, and you know, everyone else is laughing. Spurs are top of the table. Chelsea are laughing. You know, both teams won, and they're about to see third and fourth place behind them in Leicester and Liverpool play each other. Someone's got to drop points, you know, in the top four battle and the race to finish in there is peak. But in relation to Arsenal and this game, you know, obviously it depends what way you look at it. You know, you could say it's 2 points dropped. You could say it's a point gained. I think it's both. Literally, if you go in either side, I can't disagree with you. But I think it's either lost, either or. I think it's both because I think once again we didn't start the game like a team that wanted to get 3 points, that wanted to play well. We looked good for 20 minutes. That's about it. You know, we didn't create. We didn't do anything. You know, and so I feel it was points dropped. I also feel it's points gained for obvious reasons. We're down to 10 men. You know, Leeds had however many shots. You know, I lost count of how many times Leeds hit that post in that second half. You know, Patrick Bamford should be the league's top goal scorer right now based on that game. If I'm Leeds, I feel hard done by it. They peppered us in the first half. They peppered us in the second. They knew at halftime to come out and do the same thing. With the red card, obviously they brought on two wingers, you know. It was a problem. And like his mentor, you know, Arteta knows exactly how tough it is playing at Ellen Road, playing under Marcelo Bielsa, or playing against, better yet. You know, like I said, if I was Leeds, I'd play hard done. I'd feel hard done by. From an Arsenal perspective, it's typical Arsenal. You know, we knew it was going to be an open game and whatnot, but we knew that this team had lost back-to-back games. We knew that this team has conceded 8 goals in their last 2 games. We know they concede a lot, they score a lot. Okay, cool. We kept a clean sheet from them. But why did we hardly have any efforts? They've got a leaky defense. They've conceded a lot of goals. They've kept a clean sheet against you lot in true Arsenal fashion. So for the Arsenal players, are you doing your due diligence? I have to question Arsenal players as well, because as much as there's question marks generally over Arteta, very few players today I saw wanted to be the protagonist, wanted to be the difference maker. You know, when you think of Leeds, you think of aggression, you think of tenacity, you think of earning the right to play. We're in Yorkshire, it's raining. You all saw people, the ball was not zipping. When people were trying to zip the ball, it was stopping. You have to earn the right, you have to force it. And I feel players could have forced it, you know, said, I'm going to be the difference maker today. I saw people for Leeds doing that. You know, Jack Harrison and Alioski consistently down our left-hand side. I don't think Pepe helped Bellerin out that much, and that contributed to their success. But Bellerin didn't cover himself with any real joy. Calvin Phillips had the joy of the game. There was a moment we had Leeds in their own half, but other than that, we were not at it at all. Better than every department. Not shooting. What save did Milane, apologies, that keeper have to make, you know? Before, obviously, Saka had that chance where he tried to go round the keeper. We're saying our best opportunities was Pepe, where he dragged it miles wide, and that cross turned shot when it hit the post. Other than that, nothing was created. And that's where I mean, where we contribute to our defeats as well as the opposition. We defeat ourselves before the opposition. We've got no ideas. Now, I have sympathy, you know, there are injuries. You know, Partey and El Nene is hardly the most expansive midfield partnership, people. Let's cut the crap. But there are injuries. It does slow down what we could do. I do think, you know, Ceballos was quite careless. Like, he gave the ball away how many times in the first 7 minutes? But we've got no invention. I look around at that 11 and I say there's plenty of reasons, you know. I can't really complain about the tactics today. We went with a 4 at the back. I saw Aubameyang through the middle. So for me, Aubameyang, I know there's no creativity. There's no wingers and that are going to cross to you, and there's no midfielders that are going to find you. All of that is valid excuses. But somewhere down the line, Aubameyang has to pull it in himself, have to turn it around himself. And I didn't see that, you know. He's snatching at efforts. He's doing quite poor, you know. I'm looking at Willian. the whole world, maybe even Willian's own mother wouldn't even start him for Arsenal, but Arteta would. And it's got to the point where people are questioning if Arteta is smart or if he's the right manager for this job, you know, purely because he's starting you. So at the very least, go and give a good performance, especially because your name's also been in light based on how whatever it was in Dubai. Go and give a performance. Pepe's shagged himself today, let himself down. We'll always defend Pepe. I still think he deserves a run in the team and whatnot, but you're back to square one now. You're firmly back to square one. Firmly back to square one. You know, Pepe is firmly back to square one. Pepe cannot complain, people, if he now is back to square one in the sense of Nelson's ahead of him. Willian, you know, Willian shouldn't be playing for Arsenal, full stop. But Willian's now going to have to be utilised. Martinelli's injured, you know. We're down to our bare bones in wide positions. In fact, Aubameyang might actually have to go back to the left, and one of the underperforming Eddie and Nketiah and Lacazette have to come back in. There could have been opportunities for you, Pepe. Instead, you was once again hot and cold. You know, you was poor defensively. Not to say Bellerin, you know, was good himself, and you let yourself down in that moment. You're giving handbags. Why are you reacting like that? You know, anytime the rare times we decided to take on their fullbacks, people, we was actually presenting issues, and you was doing that to Alioski. You know, why get into those handbags? And within that moment, you didn't think about the bigger picture. You thought about yourself, and that screams immaturity. And now, you know, Arteta doesn't trust you anyways, but now you can say you had an opportunity. We're out the game now. You know, he could, not that it is the case, but Arteta could have said, we could have won this game now. Now we just had to focus on not losing it. And I guess there are some positives in terms of game management and not conceding in that regards. But he made our bed, and you're now the focal point. Dare I say Pepe's red card to a degree, not that I'm saying I forgive him, because clearly my language is not. And like I said, he's back to square one. It becomes the main talking point where there are several players who had poor performances today are now going to be able to coast, because Pepe, the 72 million man now, is going to make the headlines, and Pepe deserves it. Pepe, you know, Willian, for whatever reason, Arteta doesn't believe in you. You know, I don't know what it is specifically, but you've given him a reason to say, look, this is why I don't believe you. It's a bit like Jose Mourinho, not to say he wishes malice on that, but remember Spurs fans were crying for Troy Parrott. He played, he didn't do any well, and Jose said you was crying for him. He started, this is why he don't start. Arteta could turn around and say that, you know. It's one game and you was poor, but we gave you that against City, you know. You have your like you said, you have your answer now. You know, I still don't think that's fair. I still think Arteta has music to face over Pepe, but if Arteta has any question marks over Pepe, you know, you can't disagree, because you've shed him. You've made it harder than it needs to be now, really and truly. You know, we was poor in that regard. You know, like I said, Pepe, stick two middle fingers up at he also sees Willian every day in training. And if you're telling me Willian is showing something, or several of the other players, you smoking serious budge. But you know, Pepe had an opportunity to put two middle fingers up at Arteta and say, this is my club, start me. Aubameyang back through the middle, score goals. You know, Arsenal fans have something to speak about. Willian, go and help. You know, Joe Willian, not that Joe Willian was poor today, you know, but he has an opportunity to go and show something. So I feel it's on the players today. Of course, management, chance creation, you know, as frail as we looked on the transition, these are all question marks for Arteta to face, and question marks he has to answer. But the players weren't at it at all today. The players never wanted it today, apart from 20 minutes. No one wanted to be a protagonist, as I said. And that first half, you know, I look at, is it Koch in the 40th minute? He should have scored. There was a couple of opportunities that Leeds in the first half should have taken advantage of. But as from an Arsenal perspective, you just couldn't see where it's coming from. We did look a bit rusty. I did feel Ceballos is forcing things. You know, he looked very careless on the ball in the first 7 minutes in particular. You know, not that the surface is any excuse, but the surface, it's not happening there. It's just not happening. I think we clearly, everyone saw we was weak on the attacking transition, and you know, and we was poor on the defensive transition. It was too easy for Leeds to transition from defense to attack. As you saw, their keepers basically setting up plays. You know, it's too easy or far too open. Again, with Xhaka and Ceballos not playing too much football and getting a look in, I understand it makes sense. You know, we are going to lose any small creativity we do have. We are going to lose a lot. But at the same time, you know, that's where we're at, essentially, sort of thing. We still need to do a bit. But like I said, players, we're coached. clearly not coached to a certain level to attack and create chances. And we've got players that don't want to stand up and make the difference, which right now makes it one hell of a cocktail if you're an Arsenal fan, people. For me, mainly it was the transition. It was without the ball. It was too easy for Leeds. We're far too open. You're giving them every minute bit of confidence. If I'm Bamford, I'm not sleeping today, you know. If I'm sure he has a partner, and I'm sure, you know, I don't need to tell you about the birds and the bees and them things, but when she's trying to do the birds and the bees, he's gonna say no. He's gonna keep thinking about these chances. You know, a lot of them Leeds man should be baffled as to how they haven't scored. We were lucky, you know. The only time we look fairly half decent is when Saka got in an attacking sense. Is the least the couple of opportunities Saka was getting forward and things like that. You know, I'm tired of Pepe and Willian. You know, Nelson might not be the answer, but I'd rather give him a chance. I'm tired of the same old stories that come with Pepe. I'm just simply tired of Willian's performances. You know, I'm just super tired of them. Super tired of them. Super tired of them. You know. But like I said, Saka looks like the 32-year-old if you're comparing to Willian. Saka looks like the 72 million pound player if you're looking at Thingy, if you're looking at Pepe. And we're badly praying to God Saka's injury isn't serious. For me, I think it is, because the way it looked like a knee thing. You know, I don't think Saka plays today if we don't go down to 10 men. I think Saka was on the bench purely for this sort of scenario. You know, Saka had 90 minutes in the tank. I think he starts, but he doesn't. A bit of playing a lot before the break and playing as well during it for England. We shagged ourselves in the second half. It's just we looked resigned to it. It just looked like it was going to happen, people. You know, there's no invention, there's no intention. Nobody wanted to. For me, it's the sense of, in short, the players that started, nobody really wanted to grab that shirt. And when I say grab that shirt, I mean like, yo, you've got to use me against Wolves. Like, I'm leaving this field and you're remembering my positive performance. But I have to shout out Leeds, man. I think Leeds did their thing.